Okay, I'm just starting to think today. My mind is rather slow. I don't know. I'm feeling kind of empty, and I'm thinking that's okay. Maybe rather than gathering, the approach could be emptying in some way. Maybe undoing a lot of stuff, so I just have room to think. I'm just going to ask myself the question, what comes to mind when I think of weave? I don't want to look it up. I don't want to look back. I don't want to go through notebooks or anything. I just want to see what's in my head, and I guess the first thing is cloth, because it makes cloth. And a kind of holding, I think. You know, it's not just a crisscross. There's a relationship here. It has to hold together at certain points, so it becomes kind of a web or a net. Or of course I want to think about basket, since I use that as a personal symbol these days. And that makes it kind of useful, I think. Cloth is useful, a net is useful, all those things are useful. And I also think of it something ancient or old, like history, because it's so old, weaving. I'd like to think about that a little bit as well. And this web thing, it's kind of an entanglement, but some sort of orderly entanglement, because in order for it to hold together, there has to be a logic there. And I think of grid, and I think of repetition, and back and forth, kind of a rhythm thing. I also think of appearing and disappearing, and that is my definition for magic, funny enough. But because of the way the process happens and the threads show sometimes, and then they go under and over, I think that I want to include that. And I think of a simple kind of making. Even when you say, weave me the sunshine, it's about making. And I also think about carpets for some reason. Maybe magic carpets. Just want to get some ideas. Integration, maybe. A cross. I think of a cross. I think a lot about directions, over and under. So these are just some thoughts. You know, I also thought, it's funny because I usually use graph paper when I do patchwork or weave designing. And I thought, oh, I've got the wrong kind of notebook, but I'm just realizing that it's pretty easy with the lines here to make graph paper. It's easy to even weave here. Over this one, under that one, over this one. So I can use this just fine, I think. It's actually kind of funny how it works. You know, you also think of the basics when you think of weave. You think of warp, which is the element that goes this way. And then the fill or the weft, which goes this way. And then the thing that holds the warp in some sort of tension. And we have a loom. And, you know, I want to try to consider these things separately also, both as symbols and to vary them in some way. I almost want to rename them. I would like to think of this thing here that's held in some way as the part that stands, and this fill, the one that weaves through, maybe is the traveler. And the loom, I don't know, I'm going to think about that. I just want to come up with another language system for myself throughout this. It'll help me integrate it into, I think, my ideas and my stories a little bit better. Maybe just give me a different point of view.